Hey, we're back with the Sno Jet again. A lot has happened since the last video came out. Most of it has been me fixing the frame, the sheet metal, and adding those pieces in. So I've pretty much completed all the work. This side is a little rough, but you know, it is what it is. I've accepted the fact that my work is not going to be perfect. My plan is to finish up a few more small things, and then I want to get a coat of a rust primer on there, so then we can seal all the not so great welds that I've done. I also need to cut this edge off, so then we're at that same distance along there. I've pre-fit the cover and it does, or the hood, and it does fit pretty good. So let's just start cutting that out, and then we can clean up any remaining edges, and then we'll start spraying. Well, that's a little bit more legit looking. Yeah. All right, just clean those edges up and make sure everything else is good, and then we're going to prime the bottom. Okay, so now that we have that cleaned up, it's time to apply some primer. And I also want to do a little body fill on some of the bigger imperfections, but I want to get the any cracks or anything that I may not have done a good job on filled up with the primer to seal it prior to doing any body fill. So what I'm going to be using is just some Rust Check rust primer. I did a little test spray on the top. It seemed to adhere pretty good, dries fairly quickly, and I got a couple cans of that. So we'll just load it up and get the bottom done first. All right, it's the next day, and you know, the paint really looks really good. It's pretty hard on there. I did end up scraping it a little bit, dragging along the floor and looking, but it looks really good. I will need to probably do a little bit of touch-ups, and before I'm able to do the top side, I need to clean some of the residual grease off. There was a big pile here from some oil leaking on the previous engine. So I'm gonna get the power washer out, clean it up, let it dry, and then I'll be able to paint that tonight. All right, so oddly enough, after getting the bottom painted, I forgot that I need to do this bugger. Here's the old one. Quite pitted holes. Took me half an hour or so. And fits in there quite nicely. So that'll be nice for the drive gear. All right, so I did, after getting that, I welded that piece in, turned out pretty good. So I got a coat of primer on there. Dries pretty quick, but I'm gonna let that go for tomorrow. Here is the engine that I got. It is a 399 J-Lo, I guess. Haven't looked into what machines it was in before. I think a friend had it in an Alpine, maybe. Anyway, lots of compression. It does seem complete to what I can tell. I made sure I got the carb. It's supposed to be a Tilton, I believe. It does have an exhaust manifold and all the coils and stuff. So he had mentioned that one of the ignition coils was weak. That's an easy fix. What I did notice when I put this onto the mounting bolts there, it may not be centered as the small engine would be. So that can kind of put a little more weight on one side. But once I get a chance to mount the secondary clutch back up, I'll be able to check that alignment a little bit better. I don't know how much body fill I'm gonna do. It does look pretty good. Maybe it's looks better than it is because if it's a dark color, but Anyway, I think it's gonna do okay. So maybe some epoxy? I don't know. Like, just look at these things. This one's particularly bad. Not very happy with that. There was a lot of burn throughs. I probably should have replaced these supports here because I think there was a lot of moisture in this area and it rotted these, and the other one is not even welded to the floor. So there are some things that are not great, but anyway, I think it will last a little while, and you know, it will be a running machine. May not be completely authentic, but at least you still look cool in an old sled. But that's only after I fix that, because this thing is rough. I'm thinking that this engine might be tall, too tall maybe. It does fit underneath this steering support, which should work with that. But once I get the blue on, I mean, it's kind of the last thing that I'm doing. Anyway, maybe once I get this frame painted, I'll look into that hood and start fitting it and see what is needed. Because there's probably going to be a seal around the lip there, maybe, since snow doesn't come up underneath the hood. And there's definitely no seal on that left. And if there is, or wasn't, and then I'll maybe have to put one on. But that hood needs a lot of work. And the track pieces and the cogs. I'm going to roll with the cogs right now, mainly just to make it work. And if everything is all good, the fact that I got that axle out in the first place, it'll probably come back apart way easier than it did. So that'll be fine. There's a lot to happen, but the main thing is get this painted up. Maybe put the skis on or something so then I stop scraping the bottom. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all for this one. It's really short. I'm not really good at recording me while I'm doing it, which is, you know, some of that stuff's boring anyway to watch, but I'm trying to figure something out, and well, it'd be a lot of recording time watching me think. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you have, it's slow and steady with this one, but it will come to an end at some point. It will come together though, because I think the frame was the hardest part. I have an engine that is supposed to work. It's really just fitting everything back together. I did do some measuring of the dual drive chain, which is a 3/8 pitch. I couldn't find any specifically for this machine, maybe just because it's so old, or anyway, did all the measurements of the double chain and found, you know, a manufacturer that has a standard, that uses standard chain sizings, and looked for one that was 3/8, and I compared all the measurements that I did. And so I guess I should have expected this, but a 3/8 pitch chain pretty much they all have the same size links and pins and stuff like that, maybe. So it makes it a lot easier. So I just order a certain amount of links and get a master link for a dual 3/8 pitch chain, and Bob is your uncle, as they say. Now, putting that chain on is going to take some time to get to that point, because there's some seals on that drive axle that I'm pretty sure I tore up. I also mushroomed the spline of the axle a little bit. Now it's enough. It's enough that I can't get the gear on anymore. So got to clean that up a little bit. There's a lot of work to do. Anyway, I will get it done, and it will drive before next winter, but at least by next winter. All right, until the next one, thanks.